Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus today at your Pushback. Thank you for joining this live stream. Just want to have another review in this essay, another look at the contenders for the office of Prime Minister of Great Britain, of the United Kingdom. As everyone knows, Boris Johnson's been pushed out, and he was not a good PM by any measure. And I think he'd failed in pretty much all the things that people were hoping he would take a strong stand in, such as stopping the immigration and getting rid of this absurd Green New Deal and so on. But anyway, looking at the candidates that are still in the race now, what they tend to, or not what they tend to do, what they are doing is they're having it's just internal voting within the party itself, the Conservative Tory party, and the candidates that come last are eliminated, and the candidates that remain go on in the ballots. So, as I understand it, at least, there are the final of the candidates that are still in the race are Rishi Sunak, the rich, very well through his family or through his wife's connections, the very mega rich Indian internationalist, and God knows why somebody would want anyone like that being Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. But hey, so he's one candidate, and looking, by the way, as one of the stronger contenders or candidates at the moment in terms of alleged internal support he's getting. Then there's Liz Truss, a very low IQ sort of, I don't know, public service apparatchik type thing. I don't think she could run a bath personally, but anyway, she's female, so you'd sort of say that she's an affirmative action gender quota hire. And then there's Kemi Badenoch. She's the black lady from Nigeria, or her folks are from Nigeria, and she goes around in dreadlocks, and she was Minister for Women and all this sort of thing. She was. If you want affirmative action, race, gender quota creature, then look no further than her. That's what she is, and she ticks. Other than being a lesbian, she's not, as far as I can tell. She ticks just about every affirmative action box you can possibly conceive. She was gifted by the completely straight white males in the party machine back room. She was gifted a very safe conservative seat. Everything she has, everything that's on her resume or CV, in my opinion, has been gifted to her as just part of a race, gender, quota, affirmative action handouts. Now, if you listen to her talk in the debates and the interviews she's done, she still sounds like she's in high school, doing in the high school debating team or something like that. She doesn't sound like an adult in my view. And is someone who's never had to take responsibility for anything in her life, and they're thinking of her as a candidate for Prime Minister. Now, it's alleged that one of her biggest backers is a Tory, backroom numbers man heavyweight. So why the fuck he would be supporting her, I don't know. Now, they've given her a couple of right-wing, the boys downtown have given her a couple of right-wing lines to come out with, like, I'll fix immigration and I'll be tough on this, but that's all talk. Boris was talking tough about a whole bunch of things, but the minute he came Prime Minister, that was quickly forgotten. So, given she's her biggest weakness is that she'll be soft on immigration. So the boys downtown have given her some scripts to read that makes out or pretends that she's actually going to be tough on immigration, that she's a real patriot and that sort of stuff. I don't believe a word of it. I think they just gave her that to read out to make her look like a serious candidate, or to cover up for obvious weaknesses that she has. So So that's Kemi Badenoch. That she's even in Parliament is a disgrace. That she's in a safe seat is a double disgrace. That she's a candidate for Prime Minister, for fuck's sake, that she's a candidate for Prime Minister just shows that the whole world's gone insane, and just shows, by the way, how much the globalists are in control. Somebody like that would be lucky to get a part-time clerical job in the parliament, let alone get a seat in parliament. It's just an absurd race gender quota, hysterical lunatic fantasy that she's even there. The next one is Penny Mordaunt. Now, I hope that's the right pronunciation. She again is sort of she's white. She's a cat lady, problems with intimate relationships with men, but she's again a gender quota person, and I don't know if she's ever had an original thought. She must have been, pretty hot when she was younger because she was a magician's assistant. So I don't know exactly what that means, but if it's the magician's assistants, back in that time, then it would have been, leotards and fishnet stockings and heels and that sort of stuff. So, not that that's against her. If that's what she did to make a dollar and pay her way through school or something, fine, well done. Now I don't see her. She's reasonably well spoken, but she appears not to have a single original thought. Again, she's an affirmative action. In my view, an affirmative action appointment, and I don't see that she's in favour of as all the candidates, by the way, are. She's in favour of all the globalist policies, World Economic Forum policies. Every candidate is in support of every one of the World Economic Forum policies and positions. So I don't know when the British people aren't going, or the Tory party aren't going to elect a prime minister. They're just going to elect a member of the World Economic Forum. That's all they're doing. And so and this pretense that it's an election and the best person's going to get the job is absurd. It's which World Economic Forum flunky stooge is going to get slip the gig, and can they further undermine and destroy the social cohesion of the West and humiliate it in the process? So clearly the maximum humiliation would be achieved by Kemi Badenoch being appointed. But look, Rishi Sunak wouldn't be far behind. I mean, just on Rishi Sunak, Rishi Sunak's another. I mean, he's married into big money. His connections have delivered everything to him. And maybe he's a bright guy, and maybe he wants. Maybe, as I mentioned in another video, maybe he's going to be an effective administrator. I doubt it, by the way. I doubt that he's particularly clever, and I doubt he'd be an effective administrator. But that's kind of beside the point. Why would any parliament or any government, particularly a government that's one of the in the top 10 wealthiest governments in the world, why would they consider in a million years, why would they be considering an Indian guy, an Indian internationalist with rich merchant banking and international Indian money connections? Why would they be considering him a black woman with dreadlocks as an affirmative action, race gender quota flunky, another race gender quota flunky, and someone who's so stupid that they shouldn't even be in Parliament, and how they got in ministerial positions beyond me? That's the field. That's the field. Seriously. There is not one serious candidate there, not one person with an original thought in their head, not one person with an IQ above 100 in that crowd who gives a flying fuck about Britain, the British people, the British history, the British culture, and is prepared to make the hard decisions to solve the big problems that are facing Britain now. It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much. I mean, it doesn't mean that the politicians of 50 years ago were geniuses. They weren't. I mean, there were some bright guys there, but they weren't all geniuses. But they were committed to the welfare of the British people and committed to the improving the standard of living of the British people, and they were committed to British culture and British history, and took pride in the British state. Maybe not every single one, but certainly nearly all of them. And that's gone. So I'd even settle for an ordinary person who was a patriot and a nationalist and who was prepared to just directly head on address the problems. And anyone can go, even if they had an IQ of 100, they would look straight away at the Green New Deal and go, holy fuck, this has got to go. And that's all that's needed. But instead, we have the opposite. We have a bunch of fucking morons who are just globalist, World Economic Forum flunkies, race and gender quota affirmative action flunkies. It's insane. You've been with Tassus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.